Hi everyone, this is going to be your past life archetype reading using the wild unknown archetypes. I'm going to be doing it based upon the archetype energy that you're currently embodying, matched up against with the past life scenario and as to why it's happening now. So there'll be the archetype energy, and then there'll be where it resides. Then it will be what tools or necessary resources and or people, events, kind of scenario involved, and the initiation as to why it's all happening. Each card will have its own past life resonance or past life energy, and it all intertwines like that. So I'm going to be calling out who I'm going to be reading for. Zodiac Collective, and not all the readings that I'll be doing will be resonant for each and every single individual zodiac sign that watches, but if you benefit, you benefit. So who am I reading for? Cancer. Okay. Universal energy, show me what I need to see for the archetype that Cancer is currently embodying, and that won't let me go through, so I'm going to go with this one right there. The Judge. So in the current circumstances, the Judge is the current archetypical energy that you're currently embodying, and in the past life that is relevant to the Judge, what was going on. For Cancer. The Mother, the Judge. Okay. Already. This, you could be going through a stage at the moment where you're currently in transformation. You're seeking more justice for yourself. You're also unconsciously going through stages where childhood, growing up through childhood is playing the effect on you now more so than ever. It's bringing you out of your shell. The Mother being that you could have had a upbringing where there was lack of love, there could have been neglect, there could have been resentment, being judged, all the kind of things that made you feel like you weren't worthy growing up in a sense, and a lot of it was suppressed to a point where we don't even know that it's suppressed any longer. Those issues and those suppressed emotions from their childhood are now surfacing. The Judge being here is the current archetype, and this can go both ways. This can go between you making judgment calls upon yourself, what changes need to be made, and this also can be a judgment kind of scenario where you're getting the signs and the hints and the necessary information to make those changes. It's like the judgment call or the judgment card in tarot. So let's have a look at where this is all residing currently, and then the past life where it resided and why it's happening now. Universal energy, show me what I need to see for where this is happening for Cancer at present. Where is this all happening for Cancer currently? And Cancer being closely associated with the Mother card or the Mother archetype anyway, based upon Cancer, the nurturer, the moon placement is governed by Cancer, which is essentially our mother. So maternal figures or maternal issues may be very present in your life at the moment. Where is this all residing for Cancer currently? Alright, so we have the Bardo. I'm not sure. Okay, so that's like a last phase of a place that is going on in your life, or that you're comfortable with or familiar with, or that you've spent a lot of time at, either physically or spiritually or even mentally. The bardo is the last of this particular category. And then the womb has also come out, and it has gone hand in hand essentially with the mother. Okay, so this is definitely something to do with passed down ancestry, the DNA factors, the karmic debt side of things that have influenced a lot of what's going on in your life from then. But just in this side of things, this is still influencing a lot. So that's where we're at the moment. Yeah, no worries. So what we have here is the tools necessary for the current circumstances. Okay, the empty room. This one was also part of the where in the last particular scenario. It's fallen into the tools places, but I am going to honour it. And the reason being is because the womb card coming out, okay, there's a sense of unsatisfaction. The empty room, I feel like there's an empty void that needs to be filled. And because that was a part of the last scenario of what the whereabouts of this actually residing, and it's jumped into the tools category, I am going to honour that for the fact that that is relevant to that situation. What are the tools and the resources necessary in this situation for Cancer? Currently and past life. Current first, please. Cancer. What are the tools and the resources in the offering? Okay, that's current. Let's have a look underneath. The past life is the mask. Okay, and what I'm seeing with these particular cards is actually a good sign because of the colour work on both of them really stand out. So, and the reason why I say that is because both of them have a black aspect still residing, and it's also still being fulfilled in some way in some sort of colourful aspect. If it had been something that the past life had been the colour and the current situations and the tools necessary, and this card had been a lot more dull and black, I would have said that there's still a lot that you need to learn, and it may be too late for you to take necessary measures to avoid dramatic effect or things that will actually uplift the roots within you and your current circumstances, because I feel like there would have been enough signs and a lot of hints along the way, enough for you to make those changes, and that would be what I would have said if that had been a blacker, sort of duller aspect to the card. But because the both of them have an equal amount of colour, there is still a lot to learn, but I'm feeling like it's about self-sacrifice. It's also about having a moment to yourself to realise that the next choices that you make will impact your life for a long time to come. So the offering is like, I feel like you're now at a stage where it's like, you know what you need to do to get things done to be able to progress and no longer stay in the half zone mask and different aspect to yourself that you know that you need to push forward from. Okay, so that represents the tools and the necessary resources involved in this current situation as well as in the past. So it's coming out from out of the shadows and coming into your full colour zone, your full spectrum of your life and your reality. So let's go into the initiation. So this is the why. This all marries in, and especially the past life card will marry in prominently with the current situation, because like the cycle, how it works is like, unless you learn that lesson that has been thrown at you and in your direction, then you're not gonna see a change in direction. So prominent cards will show up where if the lesson is being learnt, then the outcome will change. And the initiation, let's have a look at this. The agate is the current situation, and the past life residue or past life circumstances with Kairos. Okay, so that's intuitively spoken about each particular card placement, but now I'm going to read from the book, marry it all in with the archetypes that we do use in our everyday circumstances in psychology and whatnot. But that was the intuitive side of things when it comes down to the channeled information necessary to speak to those that are on a level of consciousness, that do understand what they need to do and do need to move forward and make those necessary changes. But for those of you that want it to be put into layman's terms, I will speak now from the book, and I'll give you the definition based on the archetype of the personality and circumstances that you're currently involved in. Okay, so we have the judge as the current situation, or the current archetype that you're embodying. Okay, the critic, the diplomat, the advocate. The judge is an incredibly important job. They work every hour of every day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and other. Ironically, the judge's energy can be the seed of racism, bigotry, and fear-mongering. This is the judge of out of balance, building walls, separating from the other. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. Now, before I carry on any further, this is the tools card that is involved with the current circumstances, the offering, like I was saying, being of service to others and being selfless. And this is the card that I just read for. Okay, so this is the tools that you're needing to understand and take use of for this to progress. Okay, so not neglect the things that you're being shown that you can have to move forward in your situation, but really embrace what you are being given, and that is making time to take that stand where you need to be selfless and be more concerned with humanitarian side of things, or be more concerned with the priorities in your life. Okay. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for your complex times you're in. Get your judge in order. The world needs it. Okay. When light aspected, when it is fully at its fruition and feeling in a balanced state, in a positive sense, you're going to have discernment, advocacy, right action, and compassion. When it's dark aspected, we have, and I'm going to point out also, like there is equal amount of like black and white in this. So it really is about the past life of the tool used in this scenario, because of the two forces at play, being light aspect, taking off the mask, coming out from behind closed doors and exposing what you need to yourself to be able to heal from. Okay, so this is the past life tool. That is the halfway mark. That is what I'm seeing. So the judge card has still got broken down faucets that can be utilised for the right reasons, but you are having to make the right judgment call based upon past given circumstances, but not only that, the hints that were involved, or the signs that you'd been led to, or the challenges that you have been through as well. When dark aspected, like I was going to say, critical, punishing, unforgiving, and war building. Okay, essentially that creates that darkness again in the tools involved, because you're shutting down a part of you that needs to be acknowledged, but you're not only doing that, you're finding the resources necessary to not bring those things to the surface. And that's where I say with the tools aspect of the resources used, there could be the likes of being self-sabotaging and not looking at things as they truly are and what you need to work on in yourself, and others will become the target of how you hide behind yourself, essentially, which is essentially behind them. Okay, the judge's energy is courageous. Is contagious. When we feel judged, walls go up and around. Similarly, when we feel accepted, the entire world softens. Okay, and Gandhi had an incredible eliminated inner judge. He was a lawyer. He practiced silence 1 day a week in order to hone his discernment while on his revolutionary path. This is a very, very challenging and transforming time for you at present, and it has got a lot to do with like breaking ancestral patterns and the karmic debt involved in your life, if you do have any, especially if there is a phase where you're not wanting to confront the truth to yourself. Okay. The mother. So the mother being in the past life aspect, but what's obviously still influencing a lot of what's going on in the current aspect or archetype that you're embodying. So the mother is the residue. The mother is still what the pattern is holding on to. Alright, so the mother. So the past life and still reside or still influencing and affecting you at present. The mother, the great mother, the feminine, the source. We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-forgiving energy, all creation takes form, regardless of our birth story. Each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warmth of the womb of the mother. Okay, this card has come out that it's a pattern, it's a connection, and it's a solid one. Okay, so this is where everything is residing, and already this is a past life scenario card. That's the archetype. Following it, the cards speak for themselves, okay? And these are both past, remembering that. So what's still going on is the understanding of like why this is happening has got to do with breaking those patterns that are embedded in our core since we were even before birth. The ancestral patterns, the things that we unconsciously have inherited based upon the shame, the guilt, the fear from childhood, okay? The mother, where she offered resources from her body for building of our own, yet her tale is not so simple, as the mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects. Dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creations and begins to grip what she was meant to set free. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives yet clings. She creates yet restricts. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the eternal challenge of love. And this comes down to self-love as well. And that's a part of the breaking the ancestral patterns. Unconsciously, there may be living up to an expectation, what you don't even know that you're inheriting, but it's just unconsciously embedded in you. And the things that are triggering you have got a lot to do with why they've been embedded from the start. Breaking free of that and finding that self-love again, finding that one, will stop a lot of the pain, and it will stop a lot of the aggravation, the frustration that you may be inheriting at the moment. Remembering that was the past life of the womb where it's residing in your life. So this is now the current circumstances and where it's residing. No worries, thank you. The liminal, the in-between, of the transition. It is said that the bardo is a place between life and the next, a liminal realm through the soul's past. Envisioning this inherently mysterious space creates the potential for us to rise above the concern of this world and see our relationships through the cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those that are no longer with us, or see visions of lives not yet lived. In the bardo, there is a potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, to love the unloved, to let go of all the things that has caused us pain. The bardo suspends us in the spaciousness for just long enough to open us up to the higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to the earth as we know it, but rather to the cosmic network of which we are a single thread. Okay, so hands down, this is exactly what is still residing from the wound card in the past life scenario. Okay, it's still affecting you on that level in a different sense. Okay, it's cosmic awareness that needs to be taken considerably for real, and not just know that it's something that's affecting you and not deal with it for. There is unconscious forces that are at play at the moment. And what I'm going to do is actually pull a tarot. I've just been asked to pull a tarot and give you a little bit more insight. Now the moon has come out, just flipped up. Okay, that's Cancer, and these are subconscious dreams. They are secrets. They are hidden energies. Intuition. Okay, so I will go one more and clarify it, just so we can get some broader insight. It's the path to knowing, and you know it. That's what I've just been told. Okay, so like going into this particular phase that you're currently going into, or currently been in for maybe quite some time now, is like the fear is going to just become apparent to the point that you can no longer hide it from yourself. Okay, yeah. Don't objectify yourself, nor don't feel like you can't get out of the mental side of things and cross the river, or make the first move into your path, into your being, into your destiny, because essentially it's going to be done for you, and it won't happen any other way that is necessarily going to be positive in your mind if you don't take the lead and know that you've owned your necessary steps and challenges and taken forth into them. Okay, the moon. Why is the moon here? The 8. I did see, like I said, and showed. Yeah, okay, the 8 and then the 9 of Swords. Okay, there is a immense fear of, especially when it comes to judgment. I feel, because judgment is the card, or the judge is the card that you're currently embodying. Okay, so like there's an inherent fear about the judgment being laid upon you as a person. And that is the suppression that is currently going on, and it's deep-seated, and I feel like it's something that hasn't been dealt with at a level of spiritual health. Like this could be something that you really need to start journaling. This could be something that you really need to start understanding more so now than ever, because I feel like with those two cards, that is not a good sign. That is mental confusion. That is a lot of issues that could be long lasting with the mind. Okay, so it really is time to take a stand and make sure that you follow the right channels for yourself. You're being guided to them. I feel like you have a lot of unconscious help from the spiritual realms that are trying to push you in the right direction, but you may be neglecting that out of fear of judgment. Okay, so that is where things are residing, and like I said, that is the current situation. The womb being the past, so they do intertwine. And something you do need to take a stand. You need to make that first step forward for yourself 100%, but for the people that also love and care about you. Or the people, you could be also dealing with somebody directly as well in your immediate environment, because I'm reading for the collective consciousness of Cancerians, but Cancerians are very much ones that inhabit or inhibit as well, and take on a lot of the energies, because they're very empathetic and nurturing. So if you have somebody close to you that is this exact example, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm picking up on that energy as well, because of Cancer's innate ability to do so, to be able to very much feel. They're feelers. They feel everything. Okay, and that is something that is prominent. So if this is not your story and this is somebody that you know, then that's something that has resonated. But yeah, that's just something that I had to say. Okay, so the offering is, sorry, I'll read the past life one first. The mask, right? So in the past, the tool or the resources and what was used to get you through or by, or however needs to be said in that respect, past life wise, the mask is coming out. Okay, and I mean, like, I'm seeing a lot of duality in these cards with the Judge, the mask, and also the mother, the womb. Okay, there's still factors involved here that are very similar, like the womb being within the mother. Okay, so there's exposure, and then there's hidden sort of thing. So that's something that I just need to sort of bring up as well as an example. The mask. $187. Okay, the mask in the past life scenario, the tools used or resources, how you did things to mask in this sense, or get through into your journey back then, which is still influencing the current situation. The persona, the performance, the reveal, the mask. We often think of the mask as something that conceals our identity, yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows, the mask gives us the voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theatre, so anything is possible. Speak with the other's voice, embody the other's limbs. You are taking part in a ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to face forward into the perception, bending time, and trust it. Okay, so it is about not wanting to expose, not even to anybody else anymore. I feel like you're not wanting to expose to yourself a reality that needs to be addressed because of the repercussions that you could be currently going through. Okay, when light aspected, reveals what has been suppressed. Okay, so when it is running good, or when it is balancing, it will reveal what has been suppressed, and that you'll know, even though it will trigger you and it will bring forth the emotional side of things, bring forth the things that you don't want to feel, you'll know that that's light aspected. We'll know that that's light aspected because it will reveal the one thing that you didn't want to reveal to yourself. That's how you'll know that you're on the right track. Okay? But this is a past life, and I feel like this is what I'm saying with the sign side of things. They're the signs you're being given, and you have had the opportunity, you have felt the way, you have felt what you need to do, and have taken measures in the past to take that action, and you know that it does work, but you've backtracked. In some way or another, there has been a backtrack, and on comes the mask. Okay, so what's triggering that? All right, so this is past life, but it's still resonant to the here and now. But the current situation, or the current tools and necessary uses of which you need to use basically to get you by or succeed in what you feel like is your journey at the moment, is the offering. Okay, the offering. The offering, like I said, this is a card of many different aspects, but I feel like if it's something that, in the case of needing to be selfless instead of selfish, or giving back what you have gotten abundance of, or just giving your time to the necessary channels or people involved in your life that have given you the same respect. Okay, so the offering. I just heard there's a fight against time. Take that as you wish. But yeah, that's just kind of like what comes through random stuff like that. So a fight against time, it could be something that you feel that you're running out of, or something that is actually happening in your life, and you're still not willing to bring forward what you need to move forward. And that's kind of where you will back into the shell, and not want to face the world, but then be really reaching out in some way or another enough to make it happen. Okay, like it's something, it's self-sabotage, but it also could be very much a part of the psyche where you're unconsciously bringing yourself out to get to take the right channels, to get the necessary resources or help to move you forward without taking the advantage either. Okay, and without, and if that's not the case and you're the sort of person that doesn't like to ask for help, then you're starting to ask for help, and you're being quite stern and straightforward and blunt and direct about it, okay? Which is great. But just remember that if that is the way that you're taking things and being so directed forward, and you're not normally like that, remember that everybody's on their own journey, and so the appreciation needs to be held in regard for allowing patience and time for the right people to respond, or the right channels to be met. But don't give up on yourself, and don't give up too early. The offering 193. The gift, the present, the sacrifice. Unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message, an action, a call to take action. As you may have guessed it, there's a time for something to be given and given up. For the sake of the bigger picture, if nothing comes to mind immediately, though it is likely that it will, it'll take time to meditate. Take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognise the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When you offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small, okay? The little aspects of your time to just humanity. Necessary time to yourself, but in a self-love way, instead of a hiding behind the doors and being not really having regard for others maybe needing you as well. Okay, when light aspected, there will be those feels, or you will take notice of certain things when it comes to generosity in yourself, donation, and volunteering. So equal give and take side of things. When it's dark aspected, there will be the likes of giving with expectations, okay, and keeping track. All right, so they're control factors, and they're the sort of things that need to let go. You need to let go of, and just be, as well as be understanding that maybe now is your time to give back selflessly. Once a week, Gandhi gave up speaking for a day, offering himself to a divine silence. This offering can come in all shapes and sizes. If there is a gift you've been thinking of giving someone special, now is the time, okay? And gifts can range in many different shapes, forms, and whatnot. There are so many things to the word gift, and it doesn't even need to be material, okay? Agape. No. The Kairos. Okay, so this is the initiation of what happened in the past life. This is the card is very much key to the start of the reading. Okay, so the past life is what is sort of governing this whole read to start this one out. Okay, so the Kairos. The initiation that you went through and what's still playing out, what's got residue. Okay, mythic time synchronicity. Okay, we have all had the experience of timelessness. of a life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests that there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within the non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing, and not a moment longer. Okay, so when this reading is reaching you and you're connecting with it and you're still watching me right now, that is the time. When light aspected, alignment, ease in decisions and action. When dark aspected, fighting against time, refusal to change, refusal to take the action. Okay, so this correlates from the very beginning. You're at a standpoint. You're at a path where it's going to happen. It needs to happen for your own sake. If you choose to take the way that you've always known, you are going to fall back, and it's going to be even more brutal than the last time round. Okay, and it is something that is only for your highest good. So Kairos being there, the time, the synchronicity, the signs, like I said from the beginning, they're all been there. You've seen them, and it is now really just biting you again and again, saying it's going to happen, and it's going to happen now. So take that initiation and take that step forward now. Okay, that is the past life scenario that's influencing the present or current situation for the initiation, the outcome of this, and this is the agape card. Okay, agape is the current circumstances that will resonate with the past outcome, but like I said, this past outcome is why the judgment card is still here. Sorry. Okay, there you go. Okay, so current circumstances, devotion, unconditional love. What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put your God, goddess, or nature at the center? How would you change your approach? Such is the energy of the agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder. It is alive when we are in awe or wonder. Our breath taken away for a sacred force that surrounds us and asks nothing in return. This is a card that can indicate spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly, and vice versa. Such a initiatory moment can appear in any form and is like a healing balm to the modern soul. It affects last a lifetime. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, though this is a big transition, and what it's showing you is like once you're in the phase of like the right direction, this will last a long time for the benefit of yourself. But if you do go back into those old patterns, they'll last just as long, the lifetime sort of scenario, because you're still not learning. You're going back to square one. And there's lots of things that you have been shown enough to be able to take the lead, and you have, but you've backtracked and you've done the same patterns again, and they're only resurfacing to show you can't keep doing that. And the effects, saying that it's going to last a lifetime, that will actually mean and feel like a lifetime where things aren't getting any better, because you're not understanding, or you're not taking that lead, or you're not learning, or not listening to yourself. The agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? Agape can also be felt as overwhelming love of family, partner, community. Recognise it by a deep swell of gratitude. The Greek word agape informs the English word agape. To have a smooth agape is to be awestruck by something of breathtaking delight. We are made humble once again. Okay, so that I'll leave with you, Cancer. This is been your past life and current archetype reading. So if you want to book a private reading with me, please get in contact via my Facebook page, which is Divintuition of Lyra, and I will book you in for a video reading like that. Please remember that this is not going to resonate with every Cancer. However, for the ones that are going through what you are going through, just remember, just keep your head high, move forward. The phase is nearly over. Much love.